Does your mouth feel like the Sahara Desert? Do your cheeks stick to your teeth because you feel like you're a little bit dry? Do you think you need water all the time? Menopause can impact your mouth in so many ways, and one big way is dry mouth or xerostomia. Maybe it's not even on your radar. Maybe you're in perimenopause and you're kind of preparing yourself for this stage of life, and you're thinking, what is she talking about? But even if you don't feel the effects of dry mouth, it truly is something that you should pay attention to, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to break down what xerostomia or dry mouth is, what it feels like, and how it affects you, why it can happen, including the hormonal links, why your dental health can suffer, and some general things that you can explore with your dentist, your dental hygienist, and your doctor. If you have this, if you think your mouth is unusually dry, please go see a licensed practitioner to have an assessment. I hope you don't have to make space for dry mouth in menopause, but if you do, maybe this video is going to be an asset. If you're new here, my name is Tanya. I'm a retired dental hygienist. So as I launch into what does dry mouth feel like, I want you to know that I'm not your dental hygienist. So you should discuss all of these symptoms with your licensed care practitioner, your doctor, your dentist, or your dental hygienist. Let's dive into what dry mouth feels like, or what does it look like? Your lips can crack. You might get ulcers in your mouth. You might have that really sticky, dry feeling all the time. You could have trouble chewing, swallowing, even talking. You may have a metallic taste. You may get burning tongue. That's really, really common for a lot of women. I do have a video on burning tongue or burning mouth syndrome, which is a whole thing in the mouth. I'll link that below. If you wear dentures, they may not fit so well. You can actually have a dry or itchy feeling in the back of your throat, which sometimes people think is heartburn. It's good to get that checked out. Your tongue can feel funny and bumpy. It can be fissured and have a lot of white goo in it when you're dry. You may stick your tongue out, it can look cracked, and there's also a thing called a hairy tongue as well. Yep, that's a thing. You may even get increased infections in your throat, your gums may bleed more, and you might also be getting more cavities or dental erosion. Saliva is so important to your mouth health, but also your digestion. We're going to get into that too. Oh, I can't forget, if you have bad breath, you might have dry mouth. This is where I want women to take note, because even if you're not showing symptoms of dry mouth, if you're moving through the perimenopause to menopause transition, your risk of dental issues are higher because of hormonal changes. So why does all this happen? Medications come to mind. I need to pop in here and say, please don't go off any medications if you think they're causing dry mouth. You need to speak to your doctor. When I was a dental hygienist, I had a list in my dental hygiene operatory that had hundreds of medications that cause dry mouth. So things that come to mind are actually very common. Medications for anxiety, depression, some medications for blood pressure, diuretics that reduce the water in your body, incontinence medications. There are health conditions that can cause dry mouth, and some of them are very complicated things like Sjogren's syndrome, amyloidosis, scleroderma, diabetes, rheumatoid conditions, and autoimmune conditions. A third reason is that you can get blockages or calcifications in your salivary glands. If you've undergone chemotherapy, immunotherapy, or radiation therapy around the head and neck, you can have dry mouth. Your saliva glands could be blottoed, and you usually have a professional helping you through that. There's also injury or nerve damage. Salivary flow is regulated by your nervous system. So if there's damage to nerves, you may have changes in the salivary flow of your mouth. And a big one for us ladies as we age, hormonal changes. Fun. Let's dig into these hormones for just a little bit, because when we're young, we are making estrogen and progesterone as part of our reproductive function. But as we age, these hormones decline. Science tells us that the cells within our mouth contain receptors that match these hormones, and this influences the quantity and quality of your spit. And this may be why us ladies who move from perimenopause and the reproductive years into menopause may have a lower quality and quantity of spit. The quantity relating to the dryness and the quality relating to all the things that spit does for us to keep our mouths healthy. I want to just touch on why your dental health and your digestion suffers with dry mouth. One thing is chewing. I mentioned you need saliva for talking and swallowing and chewing to mix with your food, to lubricate your mouth, to make a nice mushy mass of food to get down into your gut. When you don't have that saliva, it really makes chewing and swallowing difficult. It also changes the way you taste. Kind of weird, huh? But saliva is a solvent for food. It brings the food particles and the taste sensations to the taste buds that live on your tongue and on the top of your mouth. So when you have low saliva, you might think that food doesn't taste really good anymore. And this can lead us to the next problem, which is cavities. Because when we lose our taste, things like extra salty foods, extra sugary foods, even higher fat or processed foods can taste way better than the old basic whole foods that we might be used to. And so when we have an increased consumption of carbohydrate, if you don't have the saliva to clear it out, to buffer it, you may also have an increased risk of cavities. Food can stick around the teeth longer if you're not brushing and rinsing regularly, and you just may have a higher sugar consumption, which can be an overall problem for your dental health. Sugar consumption is an overall problem for a lot of things. This really makes me think of the quality of food in a lot of nursing homes. When my mom was in a nursing home, there was a lot of soft, palatable, high carb foods. And if you are a dental professional, you probably know the state of these poor souls' mouths in nursing homes. There's not enough people to care for their mouths. So this becomes a terrible combination, like a perfect storm of lots of soft, palatable, sticky, highly processed foods and poor dental health. So this is why I really want you to pay attention to your dental health in these years when you have control over your habits. You may not have the saliva later to wash away the sticky foods that create acid, that create cavities, that actually can create havoc in your mouth. Digestion. Why would digestion suffer if you have dry mouth? Your spit carries so many beneficial things to your mouth. One of them, or actually two of them, is enzymes. Salivary amylase and lingual lipase. These are fancy terms for digestive enzymes that help to break down starch and fat. And this is where women start to complain in this age and stage that they're suffering from digestive issues. So there is a change in the gut microbiome. There's stress from the nervous system that turns your guts into knots sometimes, and you can have increased gas and bloating. But your spit flow is a contributing factor because we're not delivering the very beginning enzymes of digestion to the food to get things started and deliver it into the stomach, where more enzymes will flow in. So I love digestive enzymes for certain people, but again, pay attention to the amount of spit you have and if your mouth is getting dry. An important part of your gut microbiome starts from here too, in your oral microbiome. And so when this is imbalanced, when you have dry mouth, you can have more candida in your mouth. You can have a different makeup of bacteria. And where does that go? All the way down into your digestive system. Some of us don't realize that our gut is actually open to the world from here to the back, right? To your butt. It's open and vulnerable to things that come on into your mouth. And if you've been picking up on all kinds of things about gut health, you'll know how important it is to nourish this gut microbiome. It isn't just about probiotics. It's about maintaining it from different areas of the body. One of them is the mouth. It's wild what the gut's connected to. So the last thing I want to put out there when it comes to having good saliva flow is gum disease. When people have dry mouth, they are more susceptible to having bleeding gums, gingivitis, or periodontitis, where the bacteria builds up and then it sneaks under the gum line and causes this whole inflammatory process that involves the bony socket that holds your teeth in place. Your saliva is key to maintaining your microbiome, but also the health of your gums. We're almost done. What are some general things you can do about this? I already mentioned it. See your dentist, dental hygienist, your doctor. Go for a personal assessment. The doctor's important because you want to rule out any health conditions, and you can discuss whether hormone replacement might help you with your dry mouth. So one of the obvious things that you can do, and one of the first lines of defense that someone will probably tell you, is to stay hydrated. We don't drink nearly enough water. And if you saw my Back to Basics video on hydration, we may not be retaining or holding water in our cells like we used to when we were younger. We even lose the thirst cue to get the water in us. So keep some water by your side. Yes, I know you're going to pee more, but it's really good to stay hydrated to keep your salivary flow going and even your digestive enzymes. You may want to check out sugar-free gum or sugar-free lozenges. They can be very, very helpful. A lot of them come in the form of xylitol. There's toothpaste that contains xylitol, and there's also little melts called xyli melts here in Canada. Just a quick note, if you buy any xylitol products for your dental health, keep them away from pets because xylitol can be toxic to pets. Oh, and the toothpaste thing. You might need to ditch the regular toothpaste if you have burning mouth or if you feel like you have dry mouth, because that toothpaste can be very, very irritating. And in some people, it can increase the feeling of dryness. So can mouthwashes containing alcohol. They are also very astringent, they're very hard on the tissues. You might find that that increases your stickiness and your perception of dryness. There are things called salivary substitutes that you can talk to your dentist about. There are oral moisturizers that you can use when you're going out if you have to do a lot of talking. There are specific toothpastes for dry mouth in Canada and the US, all over. It's going to be different for every country. Some have fluoride, some do not, some have hydroxyapatite. There's a lot out there. You might also want to try ginger tea. Ginger tea is very soothing and helps with biofilm, which is actually that sticky plaque stuff that sits on your teeth. It has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So if you do want to make ginger tea, make it really, really subtle. Don't put a lot of ginger in your water. Start really light. The last thing I'm going to say is try tracking your foods, especially your beverages. Do you feel a little bit drier after having certain foods or drinks? And specifically, I'm thinking about alcohol and coffee. People can feel a lot drier after both of those. And you might be thinking, well, of course, they're diuretics. Totally. But there's something about the way they lay on the mouth that can change the way you perceive your mouth, and they can actually be drying. Salty foods as well. I wish we didn't have all these hormonal changes, that we could sail through midlife and to the end of our days without any health issues at all. But the truth is, well, we have these changes and it sucks. I think I say that in every video. It's not fun sometimes, but when we are aware, when we tune into our body, we can take steps to find the right people to help us move and make space for menopause. I can't wait to see you again in another video.